Space. There's nothing like it. Some fear its black emptiness, its cold harshness, a vast expanse filled with dread and loneliness. Me? I have a different take. Most soldiers don't choose deep space assignments. They prefer, shall we say, earthbound pursuits. People call these soldiers earthbounders. I simply call them cowards. Choosing a deep space assignment means adventure, drifting into the unknown. You have to be the fittest, fastest, and most aggressive SOB out there. That's why I chose this assignment, along with my squad. Our job is to scout out unknown planets, to check for life. If we find peaceful aliens, then diplomats rock up and take over to negotiate an outpost. If, however, we find aliens who are less than friendly, well, they get to meet my little friend. I know what you're thinking. We can't possibly find that many aggressive aliens. Well, you'd be wrong. I've killed countless aliens on multiple worlds. I'm a one-stop badass killing machine. However, see that planet my transport ship is approaching? Well, things turned out a little different there. This planet is Sicarus. A deep space probe discovered it hiding in this nebula. Apparently, it's rich in diatomer deposits, which basically is a type of material that houses potent fuel we use to power our ships and everything else technological, even our weaponry. Since the planet is unsurveyed, the suits back home are too scared to check it out for themselves, so they send us, the marine fodder. Should it bother me? Nah. See, as a space marine, we signed up because we want the danger, we want the action. Most of us were born in war-torn countries since birth. We were literally born in fire, grew up with death all around us, and still we survived. So going to an alien planet where possible death could be around us at all times is just part of the excitement, baby. So, once we arrive on a planet, we set up base Alpha, use our planet scanner to check for artificial power sources and alien life forms. Sometimes we get nada, and sometimes we hit the jackpot. And boy, did we hit the jackpot. On our scanners we discovered a cave we called Jagged Edge, apparently of some real old movie. Scanners picked up a signal that was both organic and technological. In all my time hot-footing it around the galaxy, we had never come across a life form that was both. Were we excited? You bet your ass we were. So my team hot-footed it, ready for either two things to happen. A peaceful encounter with an alien, or B, an aggressive one where we get the chance to show an Earth-style diplomacy, essentially us killing every non-human thing in sight. I didn't know what to expect, never do, but even beyond my wildest dreams did I expect to see what we found. This organic technological alien was not corporeal. It seemed to be atom-based, light-based, I'm not sure. You need a scientific nerd to explain. All I know is my team and I ventured towards it, and that's when we heard the strangest sound I'd ever heard.
What's that noise? I can hear a voice.
Everyone, stand back! Whatever the sound was, it made us all drop to our knees. The sound penetrated our minds like an ice pick to the brain. I wanted to aim my gun and shoot at the lights, but I couldn't move. And even if I could, what the hell would I be shooting at? Can a blast of fire kill a non-corporeal life form? Kill your friends. Kill your friends. Suddenly, everything went black and I found myself alone, in the snow. Everyone in the company were gone. Did the alien put me here? Had I managed to escape? All I knew was that my combat suit temperature device was beginning to beep a scary beep. The cold was falling to dangerous levels, so I hot-footed it back to base Alpha, and once I got back, I found no one present. Not my team, pilots, commanders, everyone had just vanished. Did the alien kill them? Keep them in the cave? If that was the case, why would I have been spared? I knew I had to get answers. Fortunately or unfortunately, I didn't have to wait long. This is the part of the story when things go sideways. So rather than bore you with minute by minute details, let's just say I figured out what had happened to my team and that the alien light show was responsible. It only took a few days, but my squad began to change. And when I say change, I mean from this to this. It happened fast, too fast. They began attacking us in our base, and it became a literal civil war. You couldn't tell who was your previous comrade under that new skin. But it wouldn't have mattered. They had only one goal, and that was to kill me and what was left of my squad. As days went on, the more of my squad I lost until you guessed it, the count for humans not turned into aliens was down to 1. Yours truly. Now, being outmanned should have been the end of it. But I'm not just some space jarhead, okay? I've been trained in every survival technique you can think of. During the fight with my alien-turned pals, I learnt their patterns and their attacks. It's not only how I survived, but also how I attacked. This is where the cool montage bit comes in. Now, the only way I was going to survive was pretty simple. I had to learn patience. The quieter I was, the better chance I was going to survive. Kill your friends. Kill your friends. Kill your friends. Of course, patience only lasts so long. And then it was time for my alien friends to meet my little friend. Okay, now I've got to admit, being alone in this alpha base, I got a little bit crazy, so I figured, well, if I'm going to be killing lots of aliens, I might as well have like an emote. So I figured I'd try a few. Okay, I admit, I look a bit crazy, but what you gonna do? I was on my own, right? Now, even I've got to admit, this is a bit strange. Essentially, I figured, well, could I stand still for any longer than 5 minutes, 2 minutes? So occasionally I'd find a nice little place in the alpha base and I'd just stand there. Well, like a statue. Yeah, it's crazy. Sue me. However, when all things were said and done, what really mattered is to take things seriously. I had to survive. My entire team and squad, they were gone, taken over by the aliens. So, sometimes I had to be heroic and save myself. See, my alien comrades are fast, determined when they could sense an enemy, but at other times they were plodding, slow, and sometimes dormant. I mean, check that out. They look like hanging meat, right? Where's Rocky Balboa when you need him? Is that too old a reference? Probably. What could I say? I like old 20th century Hollywood films. So, here I am all alone in the white. No squad, no backup, and surrounded by aliens. Truth is, I was a dead man walking. Until I wasn't. Another team had arrived, based halfway across the snow planet. But that's fine. See, I'm gonna get there somehow. I'm gonna save them in a way I couldn't save my team at Base Alpha. After all, I'm the hero of this story, right? I had to kill my team because of the alien, right? So here's me, ready to rock and roll. Hang on, Base Beta. The hero is on his way. Play that funky music, baby.
Kill your friends.
In the heart of a forgotten land, beneath a sky forever bruised by twilight, two warriors stood locked in eternal combat. They were relics of an ancient era, their names long lost to time. Their battle, a legend whispered only by the wind. One had the fists of fury, forged from the bones of fallen gods. The other, fists of power, glistening with the fire of suns yet to be born. No one knew how long they'd fought. Days, years, millennia. It no longer mattered. Time had ceased to flow in this place where the sky never changed and the land remained barren. The ground scarred by their endless struggle. The clash of their fists and feet rang out like the tolling of a great cosmic bell, echoing through the empty plain. Each strike was met with equal force. Every punch, every hit, every kick, every parry, every flurry of movement was matched until neither warrior could remember a time when they had not been fighting. The Dark Warrior, draped in his ancient ninja uniform, fought with the silent fury of a raging storm. His eyes glowed with the fire of a battle unquenched. His strikes were brutal and unyielding, like the endless night from which his power was born. The Warrior of Light, also wrapped in the brilliance of ninja warrior uniform. It had the brilliance of 1,000 dawns, and she met every blow with grace and precision. Her every move was a dance, her strikes swift as lightning and just as devastating. Her uniform shimmered, ever aglow, as if the sun itself had cast its blessing upon her. The two warriors fought without words, for none were needed. Their fists, their kicks, their bodies, their battle was their language. The clash of their fighting, their conversation. For eons, they had been locked in this endless rhythm, one of them advancing, the other retreating, their positions always reversing, never yielding. And then, one day, or perhaps one century, something changed. As their fists met once more in a shower of violence, the warrior of darkness paused, just for a moment, his fists held mid-swing, his eyes, once blazing with relentless fury, flickered. He tilted his head slightly, as if pondering something for the first time in eons. The warrior of light, noticing the hesitation, did not press her attack. Instead, she too lowered her fists, confusion flickering in her radiant eyes. As the silence stretched between them, she found herself wondering the same thing. The dark warrior let out a long breath, lowering his fists. His shoulders, once held rigid with the weight of battle, relaxed ever so slightly. The warrior of light glanced down at her fists. She realized then how tired she was, not of the battle, but of the endlessness of it, the monotony. She had never considered the futility of their struggle. For so long it had been her entire existence. But now, standing in this moment of stillness, she felt a weight lifting from her soul. The dark warrior met her gaze, his glowing eyes dimming slightly as the rage that had fueled him for eons ebbed away. For a long time neither spoke. They simply stood there, two warriors who had once been eternal enemies, now uncertain what to do with the sudden, unexpected peace. The warrior of light smiled, a small, weary smile, but a smile nonetheless. The dark warrior grunted, a sound that might have been the ghost of a chuckle. He gestured towards a nearby building, where the sky seemed just a touch less bruised. And so, side by side, the two ancient warriors, once eternal enemies, turned their backs on the battlefield. Their fists were still at their sides, but now they were at peace. As they sat, they spoke, not of battle or victory, but of other things, of the stars, of the lands they had once known, and of the quiet that now stretched before them. In the end, they had found something far greater than victory. They had found an end to the endlessness, and in that stillness, they found something they had never expected: companionship. Perhaps, in the infinity of time, even warriors could become friends. Are you ready? Good. You've wanted this for all your life. To live this particular dream of yours since you were a child. And now, through Dreamscape, we can give you your dream. Make it feel like it's reality. All you have to do is believe. For all your life you wanted to conduct an orchestra, to have that feeling of creativity, to be something more than you ever thought you could be. And yet, you were never given that opportunity.
I want this now.
You know the price you have to pay. You see in front of you your avatar, your younger self, to be her again, to rewrite your history. So go forward, take your destiny, and have fun. I hope you enjoyed that. Now it's time to pay your price. Nurse, ready the patient for theatre. We will take everything we can. Liver, lungs, kidneys, everything we deem to be working. Let's leave nothing behind. But remember, let's make this humane. After all, she is only human. They told me I'd find myself out here. Said the jungle would show me the way. But all I've found so far is more jungle. Maybe they meant I'd lose myself instead, to never be found again. Everyone keeps saying you have to be lost to find your way. What if getting lost is just a way of avoiding the truth? I thought I'd come out here to escape, to leave behind the mess, the expectations. Maybe I'm just running in circles. Maybe there's something to this. The jungle doesn't run from itself. It doesn't hide. It just is. Maybe I need to stop running. Maybe I need to start dancing. I don't need to find anything. I just need to be here. And maybe, with just being here, I'll eventually find myself. Find yourself? Oh, you're gonna find yourself. But you have no idea what that means. Who the hell are you? The better question is, who the hell are you?